From the large ferry boat, the water seems to stretch unendingly towards the horizon. We are on the river Brahmaputra. In the soft winter lights of a January morning, it almost resembles a calm sea, its flow so smooth that it is barely perceptible. As our ferry proceeds on its quiet course, it is hard to believe that the liquid expanse it is traversing can actually play havoc with lives and livelihoods through flood and erosion. Our journey had begun at Nimati Ghat, 20 kilometers from the tea town of Jorhat in Assam. Now, this almost 2-hour-long ferryboat journey will take us to Majuli, the world's second largest but the most populous river island. We have heard people saying Majuli resides in the middle of nowhere. Some say nature has conspired to keep Majuli at arm's length, as it were. We wanted to see for ourselves what this so-called conspiracy actually means for the island. Now said to extend over 850 square kilometers. We wanted to feel how Majuli's almost 2 lakh strong population copes with its isolation. At first glance, Majuli looks like any other settlement in this region. It is predominantly rural. So, one is greeted with tall trees, thick-set bushes, vast open fields, enormous water bodies, and wetlands. And these are interspersed with kacha or unmetalled roads leading to villages sporting traditional bamboo and mud huts with thatched or tinned roofs. There are around 250 villages across the island. Majuli also has a few pockets of urbanity centered around administrative facilities. Here, one will find the usual metalled roads, brick houses, modern vehicles, and marketplaces, complete with modern installations. But the moment you leave these pockets, you will find Majuli's infrastructure to be woefully inadequate. This is attributed as much to her remoteness as to the severe floods that ravage Majuli almost every monsoon.
Majuli most probably had a lot of natural upheavals, and actually it is surrounded by rivers. To the north there is a river, to the south there is the mighty Brahmaputra, and the people believe that due to the natural changes, courses of natural change brought about by the earthquake, 3 earthquakes are referred, and I can give you some examples that in 1596 there was a very great earthquake, and that may be the point we can recite that from that earthquake the river course of the Brahmaputra, which was formerly flown to the north of Majuli, has been changed, and it is started flowing with a combination of the forces of Dikho and Dihing, which were flowing towards the south of Majuli, and combinedly they made the channel, river channel at present, which is flowing towards Majuli, south of Majuli. And I think that the habitation may start in Majuli from 16th century.
মাজুলীখন দুইপাৰে ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰ আৰু লুইতৰ মাজৰ এটা চাপৰি, এইটো কৈ আমি কওঁ এইটো এটা বিখ্যাত আইলেণ্ড। ইয়াৰ মাজত যিসকলে বাস কৰিছে সেইসকলক আমি ট্ৰাইবেল আৰু নন ট্ৰাইবেল এই দুইটা দিশৰ পৰা আমি দেখিছোঁ।
Documentary evidence about human settlements in Majuli takes us only as far back as the 16th century. Yet, it is believed that agrarian activities had begun in different parts of the island between the 7th and 13th centuries by groups of people fleeing severe exploitation in their homeland.
In Assam, we have different groups of people, social groups, with their distinctive traditions as well as cultures. So broadly, the population, the census of India has divided the population in different categories like scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, general caste. So in this way, in Majuli also, there are all categories of people. There are scheduled caste people, there are also scheduled tribe people, and in fact the concentration of scheduled tribe is more than that of scheduled caste population.
Among the tribals, the most prominent are the Missings. They are an Indo-Mongoloid group of people who migrated from the foothills of the Himalayas and now form nearly 35% of the island's population. The other important tribal groups include Deori, Koch, Kacheri, and Ahom. There is also a substantial population of marginal non-tribals known as the scheduled castes.
People are basically very simple, and there are 80%, 90% people are very agricultural based people.
It is basically an agrarian economy. It is a rich and diverse agricultural tradition, producing more than 100 varieties of rice here, and that is without utilizing fertilizer and pesticides. That is nothing but organic farming, and it is now widely accepted by all in the world.
Indeed, agriculture provides Majuli its sustenance. However, fishing, sericulture, dairy farming, pottery, handicrafts, weaving and boat building are some other important economic activities for the local people. With very little industrial activity on the island, Majuli still sports an unspoiled idyllic charm. It is a hotspot for flora and fauna, harboring many rare bird species, including migratory ones that arrive for the winter.
Majuli is the paradise of birds. Actually, a few percent is used as the chemical fertilizer. So basically the soil of Majuli is intact, and due to its vegetation, birds are vegetarian. So due to this vegetation, they mainly come to Majuli and for wintering.
Environment of this place is actually very unique. It is completely away from disaster of environment. It is free from all pollution except organic pollution during rainy season.
Its charming existence notwithstanding, the story of Majuli is that of an endangered landmass. It is threatened by a monstrous Brahmaputra. The size of this island is getting reduced by the day. The moment you start walking along an embankment built to keep the meandering river at bay, a sense of impermanence grips you. The longer you stay here, the more you realize that this place is at the mercy of a mighty and unpredictable river. There is apprehension that it is in more or less permanent danger of extinction.
I think that due to its nature of soil, because the soil is sandy soil, maximum sandy soils, and sand particle is more, so due to lack of clay soils, it dissociates quickly, and due to nature of the current of Brahmaputra, erodes quickly.
Lots of problem here because this formation is geologically it is very new for Majuli. So you cannot construct a huge structure or permanent structure like this at a because of soil condition like this. It is hardly 400-500 years of geological formation. So you cannot, just like in Jorhat or some Nimoti Ghat, some permanent cannot be possible at this moment because it's sandy soil, alluvial soil. And there you cannot find that land or something like that, your hard soil or something like that. So it is very difficult. So a lot of study have to be made.
Despite all these odds, Majuli boasts of as many as 6 colleges, 60 high schools, and around 500 middle and lower primary schools. For the people here, it is the spirit that matters, not the hardship or adversities. They are completely at peace with themselves.
Majuli is something which you cannot see.
Okay.
But you see in Majuli, it is everywhere. But what is the speciality in Majuli? That is very exceptional. Something which you cannot see, but you can feel it. The spirituality.
Perhaps because the island is so fragile, Majuli is a world away from the hustle and bustle of places filled with ambition, competition, and tension. Here, life is a quiet journey, serene, somber, and intensely spiritual. It actually has very rich religious and cultural traditions fostered by the neo-Vaishnava institutions known as Satras.
সত্ৰীয়া সংস্কৃতিৰ গোটেই মূল হেৰিটো আচলতে আমাৰ যিখিনি কলামূলক দৃষ্টি বা সত্ৰীয়া যিখিনি ধৰ্মীয় যিখিনি শিকা হৈছে বা কলাত্মক যিখিনি নৃত্য গীত এইখিনি আমাৰ সত্ৰৰ যি গুৰুকুল ব্যৱস্থাৰে শিকোৱা ব্যৱস্থিত হয় আৰু বহিৰ মানে হেৰিৰ লগত শিক্ষা ব্যৱস্থা সম্পূৰ্ণ স্কুলীয়া যিটো পাঠ্যক্ৰম সেইটো শিক্ষা দিয়াৰ ব্যৱস্থা হয় মানে বাহিৰত কিন্তু আমাৰ যিটো মানে ব্ৰত আছে সেই ব্ৰতৰ বা আমাৰ সাজ পোছাক যি সংস্কৃতি সেই সাজ পোছাক গোটেই ব্যৱস্থা ৰক্ষা কৰি এই স্কুল কলেজত পঢ়াৰ ব্যৱস্থা আছে বিভিন্ন ধৰণৰ আমাৰ বাহিৰত আজি ইউনিভাৰ্চিটিটো পঢ়িবলৈ যোৱাৰ আছে গতিকে সেইখিনি শিক্ষা দীক্ষাত কোনো বাধা ব্যৱস্থিত নাই কিন্তু সম্পূৰ্ণ ব্যৱস্থা কৰা হয় আৰু তাৰ উপৰি বিশেষকৈ আমাৰ যিখিনি মূল সত্ৰীয়া সংস্কৃতি মানে কলাত্মক দিশ হয় সেই গোটেইখিনি আমাৰ ইয়াত গুৰুকুল ব্যৱস্থাৰ যিটো মানে ইয়াতেই গুৰুসকলৰ ওচৰতে শিকাৰ ব্যৱস্থা হয়
Actually, Komalabari, Dokhinpat, Auniati, Bengenati, Goromur, these are the main satras in Majuli. And all people from all villages, they are well acquainted with the satras. And satras have their own disciples called as bhakats. And each satras have their own bhakats. And every year or in any festivals, they attend the satras and pray to God in Namgars and attended the Borsabhas, Bhavnas, etc.
There is no doubt that these satras have given Majuli most of her distinctive features. Their activities are primarily the reason why UNESCO is actively considering proposals to include Majuli in its list of World Heritage Sites under the Cultural Landscape category. Whether this honor will eventually come Majuli's way, one doesn't know just yet. But the delicacy of sights and sounds that this island throws up definitely makes it a special place under the sun.